That notion that we're separate is the great ill that's plaguing our culture right now.
It's the great ill that's plagued the world forever.
Yeah.
It's the only reason we have war.
How do we fix it, do you think?
Gabby Bernstein, a role model for spiritual seekers.
This idea of separation, right? This idea that that we're separate from someone because of our race or our gender or our religion or celebrity, non-celebrity. Being here in Los Angeles, it's like it's a real like town of who's who. And when you actually give that over and you just see people as humans, that's when real connection can happen.
That's right.
But people don't get that. And I think a lot of people are living with that sense of separation. So what do you see in that way, and what would you advise?
What a great question. So my heart breaks over this lately. Just to be honest with you, I don't know what's going on with me as I get older. I'm mushier or something.
Me too.
You know, and even this week, there's something going on in one of my businesses, and I'm just watching people be so cruel to one another and judgmental and harsh and aggressive too, like an aggression. And that's because of this false belief that somehow we're separate or we're competing for a scarce pile of something, right? So one thing I always try to remind everybody is that the universe is expanding all the time, and truth vibrates at the highest frequency, right? That's what vibrates at the highest frequency. So when you're not operating in truth and peace, you're operating at a much lower frequency than you're capable of. And so then you begin to believe that things are scarce. But I actually don't think that. Like, I actually think there's plenty for everybody. Like in our group, for example. One of the things I love about that group is, for the most part, as far as I can tell, people don't think because you wrote a great book, their book's not going to do well.
There's no comparing that.
Right? That there's an elevation that takes place when people put great work into the world. And I think there's a lot of this being sown, we both know this, no matter what your political beliefs are. And I don't even know what mine are anymore half the time. But no matter what you believe, that's from the car accident, by the way, on my thumb.
Oh,
that's the
boy.
tire. That nice little
The tire.
tire. Yeah, right on there.
There you go.
I just noticed that. But we're encouraged to be separate from one another. Like, you think this way, I think that way, therefore we're separate. No, we're really one. Like in my own family, I have people that have totally different beliefs than I do about different things, but there's this understanding that it's my sister or that it's my niece. And so I try to always look at people like that. Like, I get teased a lot because I call most people brother if they're a guy or sister, and they're like, but it's actually my belief system.
They are brothers
They're
and sisters.
actually my brother. They're actually my sister. And it's actually reinforcing that and sowing that, literally that neurology into my body. You're my sister. You're my brother, right? So I think that notion that we're separate is the great ill that's plaguing our culture right now.
It's the great ill that's plagued the world forever.
Yeah.
It's the only reason we have war.
How do we fix it, do you think?
You and I are doing our work. Our listeners here are doing the work. Anyone that's listening to you or to me or to anyone in this space, reading a personal growth book, doing some form of therapeutic work, is actually the antidote to the war, to the collective trauma, to the global separation. Because as one person wakes up to that lack of separateness, that interconnectedness, and they extend grace to the Uber driver or to the coworker, that grace starts to expand.
You're right.
You gave such grace to this man today that you back into his car.
And he did to me too.
And he did to you.
Yeah, it was super
and
cool.
then because he did to you, you were able to show up for the rest of your day, not feeling guilty, not feeling
You're
hung
right.
up.
I'm not carrying it now.
You're not carrying it.
Yeah, I'm not carrying it. And had I not handled that the right way, I would have carried it. Because I'm the type of person, like most people are, that when there is a conflict or I've done something that's not consistent with my values or whatever it might be, I carry it for a long time. And so I've learned, like in my life, like to release it in the moment. I got to tell you, I think one of the things that frustrates me that you and I think contribute to fixing is, I think people look at like you and I, because we have podcasts, and they're like, well, yeah, they're qualified to heal people or help people, but I'm not qualified. Like, what do I have? I'm average and ordinary, or I've had this divorce or this setback. And most people use in their life, unfortunately, they use the mistakes of their life as evidence for themselves that they can't make progress or help other people. And I had this huge breakthrough after I wrote my book. I wrote The Power of One More, and my dad, as you know, was an alcoholic. Way after my dad had passed away, I'd already written the book. I wake up one night, so the book was out like 8 months. I wake up one night and I'm emotional, I'm crying. And my wife's seen me that way a few times, but it's not something that I'm great at doing. She's like, what is wrong with you? I said, babe, someone helped Daddy. And like, imagine this. I'm 51 years old at the time, and it just dawned on me. She goes, "What did you say?" I said, "Someone helped Daddy." She goes, "With what?" I go, "Getting sober."
Yep.
35 years ago. Some precious human. And by the way, I've talked to my dad about this before he passed away. My dad was going to take his life. My mom was going to leave finally. My dad was either going to end his life or he's in a really bad space. I said, "Babe, I don't know if it's an alley somewhere or a bar or a meeting. I don't know where it happened. But some precious human whom I don't know saved my family and helped my dad."
Yep.
Is that not that one person helped my father? I'm his son. I've reached millions of people. You don't know the ripple effect of healing or helping one person.
That's right.
You don't have any idea when you're doing it what the ripple effect, the ramifications of that one encounter are. And that's the beautiful thing about our life. We don't know.
If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.